You can't look at the viewfinder either. Don't be dad. Do not be dad, all right? We already had that issue. All right, here we go.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Mountain Experience. I'm your boy Jared here with Ben. We're going to talk to you today about how to survive Cedarville.
Oh my goodness. Hey everyone, it's your boy Ben here from the Bound Experience, and today I have my brother who's never been on this channel, but we are so excited to have him on because we're going to talk about, well, we're both wearing some Cedarville gear. I just graduated from there. My brother is going to be a sophomore there, so, if I can talk today, we're going to be discussing our top 5 ways to survive your freshman year at Cedarville, because we both have done it. We both have survived.
Yes,
sort of, you know. So these aren't like probably the best 5. These are the ones we came up with, and so I'm sure there's many more. And if you're a Cedarville grad, just comment below what you would say, because that would really help me realize how much I missed. Yeah. Anyways, so the first thing we talked about, and I think it both popped up in our head, was Chuck's and Chuck's line to get food. And I will elaborate on it, but I want you to go ahead and elaborate on it. Go ahead and elaborate on what you mean, what we mean by that.
Yeah, so there's 2 in particular lines that are normally long.
Yep.
Especially the first couple of days of school, because everybody's there. Nobody has a set time or whatever. One is habanero. All right. If you want habanero, either go later afternoon or before anybody gets to Chuck's.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
You have to go before anybody gets to Chuck's or later afternoon, because then you'll get hab and you want to wait 5 hours. All right. You just get there.
That's true.
Second one, pizza.
Pizza line's really long.
Pizza, always long.
And occasionally home cooking.
Yes.
Home cooking if it's
cooking's
good.
which is like once a month.
And we will say this, the key times to go anytime for lunch or dinner is go at the 45 or 15 slots in an hour. Yep. So like if I normally went at 11:15 or 11:45, because you just got there right after everyone got there, right at the end of their class or the end of chapel. And then if you went there at 11:45, you get there basically when everyone's done and before all the other crowd comes. So if you have a time slot where you can get to lunch, do it between those 2 times. Definitely. We both agree that that's probably the best time. So that's survival tip number 1, to survive Cedarville as a freshman. The second one is, well, cedar spray. How we love you. If you don't know, and maybe you have not been on campus, or you're like, what's cedar spray? I don't know that. That's when the sprinklers in the lake decide that they like to go up in the wind, and the wind just kind of blows it. Yep. I don't know if he's ever experienced it, but I know in my 4 years, I've been sprayed numerous times, and it's the worst feeling because you taste the water. Yep. And it's just gross. Just take a look at Cedar Lake and you'll understand what I'm saying. Yeah, but Cedar Lake, that's pretty, tip number 2, just try to avoid it, whether that's going around or making your trip longer. Yep. Number 3. Number 3. Weather. Oof. Ohio's weather. If you're from Ohio, you understand this point, and you can probably skip through this point. But Jared, explain what Ohio weather is like for those that don't know.
Well, let's see. Come October, I'd say till October it'll probably be 80s. Maybe
I say late September. Then we're starting to get into the cooler.
And then October hits, and one day it'll be 70. The next day it'll be like 50. All right, and then you get to December, and it just fluctuates on a dime.
And just to point this out, the winter is crazy. Yes. The winter is like literally the worst time in Ohio. Like last year, it was so cold that I tossed a thing of hot water in the air and it froze. Let's just say winter in Ohio is awful. So I recommend anybody that's going to Cedarville for their freshman year, pack a lot of winter clothes. You might not think you're going to need it, but do it. Just survive.
Last year it was so cold, we had a freeze day.
Yeah, who knows? We might have that again. We never know.
That'd be pretty awesome.
But that moves into number 4, and this is sort of a more serious topic of how to survive Cedarville, but I know personally, and Jared both, we both didn't really get involved our freshman year like we probably should have. I mean, you sort of did, I sort of did, but it wasn't like full in. I would say if you're a freshman, get involved. Get in a D group. Get in a, work with your bro sis, those type of things. So a D group at Cedarville is probably one of my favorite things about Cedarville. just to be able to get with a group of guys or a group of girls and go through a particular book of the Bible throughout the year. It's super, super awesome. We both recommend it. Do it. It will help you survive through those tough times of freshman year when it just gets rough. And honestly, it's just kind of crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And then moving into number 5, and it's kind of like the last tip we have for this video, and we could go on and on. But that is, well, watching out for longboarders and bicycles.
Oh, yes.
Boy, oh boy, do they have fun. And no offense to my friends that have bicycles and longboards. We are not trying to point you out. Maybe a little. But what we are truly just trying to say is they can just not really care about where they're going. So if you think you're walking in a straight line and you're like, oh, I'm on the right side of the sidewalk, that doesn't mean anything.
Nope.
Doesn't mean anything. You want to add anything on that? Because, I mean, you've only been there a year. I've been there 4 years and I about got ran over twice.
Yeah, especially if you walk around with headphones in like I do. I walk to class.
You can't hear them.
You ain't hearing them coming. No. And so they're just like, whoa! Hello! You know, wow. Came out of nowhere, buddy.
This is so true. But, so, yeah, that's kind of like the 5 tips that we have. I mean, we could literally go on for like a whole episode, or like 2 or 3 episodes of like things we could say. But those are kind of like the 5 brief tips that we have for Cedarville freshmen. But Jared, is there anything you want to add to how to survive your freshman year that maybe we haven't mentioned, but you think is key when it comes to classes, but when it comes to chapel or whatever it is? What are some key things that you think?
Yeah, well, I'd say definitely find a good group of friends that you can hang out with,
that's true.
do stuff with. Not necessarily in your bro sis, not have to be in your bro sis, but just like that nice tight-knit group of friends. Like I have some, you know, it's in my bro unit, but I mean, we have this nice tight group of friends. We can go do stuff, whatever. And definitely get involved with your bro sis activities.
Yeah.
You get to hang out with people. You get to have fun with your sister unit, you know, your sister dorm or whatever. And it's totally worth getting involved that way. And also, when we're in chapel, make sure those of you who don't really have bro sisters don't sit in our unit seats, because that's where our unit sits. And then you mix it up, and then it's like, what are you doing? You know, I got.
But at the same time, find your group of friends.
Yes. Definitely find that group of friends where you like just hang out. You know, if you're bored on like a Saturday or Sunday, because I know that's a lot of times when I'm bored, Sundays, we don't got nothing going on. You know, call them up or text them and be like, yo, you guys want to go do something? Go, you know, hiking or go to Young's or just hang out somewhere on campus or whatever, you know, something like that.
Yeah, that's really a great point. And I think to add on to that, I always say, get in the Word. I know it sounds very simple, and I know your parents might say it. I know many people are going to say it, but it honestly is so key. I wish I would have done that as a freshman at Cedarville. I kind of did, and I just did my own thing. And I think with getting in the Word, with being in a D group, it helps so much. And also, find a church. We didn't add that in the 5, but it's just kind of hit my head. And find a church. Your chapel is not really what it's meant for. That's a place where you are together with other students, but find a church, find a place where you can get involved, you can help out, and really, hopefully, really make an impact in a church body as you're away from home. So those are our kind of 5 tips / a few more tips on how to survive your freshman year at Cedarville, and hopefully it will bring you, I guess, a jump start to a career that I know I enjoyed. I miss Cedarville. And I know he's enjoying his time. So really take your time to just focus on those things. They're fun things, but also some serious things as well. So again, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for my brother for jumping in. You might see him throughout some other videos just because he's my brother, and I guess I feel like I have to. I don't know. No, I really love having him on. So it's good. And as always, we'll see you next time. Oh, hey, is the video over? That's great, because you know what? That allows me to ask a few good questions. The first question is, did you enjoy the video? Because if you enjoyed the video, then, well, why don't you hit that big old thumbs up button, because that thumbs up button allows me to tell that you've enjoyed the video, you had a laugh, you maybe cried, maybe laughed at maybe my stupidity, I don't know, but you enjoyed it, and that's what matters. And then while you're at it, why don't you go ahead and click that subscribe button, because that subscribe button allows me to see that you want to see more content or maybe you've enjoyed some of the past videos, so you want to see some similar videos, but allows me to see that you've enjoyed it. And again, that's what matters. And so, with that leaves me just with one thing to say, and that's, we'll see you next time.